Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Smokin' Sous Vide. So, I've been traveling a fair amount, and one of the things that I've gotten in some of the lounges is this lovely terrine dish. The terrine is like a pate, but it's coarser. So, I decided to make something that's a combination of some of the terrines that I've seen out there. So, what we're doing is I'm going to do a chicken terrine. So, I took some chicken thighs. I deboned them, so works out about 1.5 pounds of meat. I've chopped that to cubes about half to 1 inch square. I have a teaspoon of just table salt, some ground pepper, and some coriander, a tablespoon of coriander. I have some onions that I roasted when I made a smoked duck the other day. So I've chopped those up. That's about 1/4 cup of onions, or maybe half a cup. And I've got some nice fresh cut garlic, probably a couple tablespoons. I have some spinach, and I'm going to put a little bit of this chicken/duck broth in. So I've lined a casserole dish with some bacon. So now a lot of terrines, they ask you to puree or to blend it in a food processor. And I really don't care for that. I've had some coarse terrines that I really like. So what I'm going to do here is just to try this. Now this is a full-on experiment. I'm going to take all that chicken. I'm not going to food process any of it. But I have cut it fairly small. Like I say, probably closer to the 1/2 inch size than that for cubes. I'm going to take some of this duck/chicken broth, put just a couple tablespoons of that in there. Now this is congealed because it's just out of the fridge. That's going to add the moisture. We have an egg sensitivity in the family, so I'm not adding any egg white or anything to hold that chicken together, which is why the broth is going to maybe help with that. I'm going to add all the garlic. I'm going to add all the onion. Salt, pepper, and coriander. And we're going to mix that. So you can see, just get that nice and evenly mixed. Don't be afraid to work it, because that chicken will release, there's some chemicals in the chicken that make it, so as you work it, it kind of gets more binding. That too, and I saw that on one of the food shows on how they make processed chicken and that, but some of the roasted chickens. So just work that in really good. Okay. Now you can let that sit in the fridge for a little bit, or you can just start going right away, which is what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to take and make a layer of this on top of that bacon-lined casserole dish. Just get enough to create a nice little layer. Press it down. We're going to take some of this nice fresh baby spinach, and we're going to make a layer of that in there. Now this will always cook down, as you know, chicken or spinach always cooks down quite a bit. I'm just going to press that in nicely. Put another layer of the chicken on top. So this is a fairly simple recipe, and I'm hoping it comes out as good as some of these ones I've had in the hotels lately. Okay, we'll just bring that up to about there. That can actually hold the whole thing here. Look at that one. Pretty much done. So that was just the right amount. And we're going to press that in a bit. Just make sure there's no air pockets in there. Okay. So now, instead of some recipes that call for you to wrap it in foil at this point, put it in the oven, we're going to put that in the oven at 350 degrees. Just going to unlock my oven. bake, 350. Let that come up to temperature. While that's coming up, I'm going to take some more bacon here, and I'm just going to layer that across. Very nice little cap there. So I'm going to take another couple of slices of bacon here. That'll keep that that meat moist and from drying out. Fold over any pieces of bacon that are out. Okay, press it. Now, to start with, I'm going to put the lid on that. So I'm going to cook that for an hour in the oven at 350. It's not using a terrine dish. You just see I'm using a standard casserole dish. I don't think you need to go out and buy anything fancy here. You're going to turn this out after it's baked. It's going to cook from all sides. We're going to make sure it's well cooked all the way through, that it has a temperature of 180 degrees Fahrenheit at the coldest spot. So we'll throw that in the oven. We'll put it on for an hour, and I'll show you what it is at that point. And then we're going to uncover it and cook it to get some of that moisture out of there for probably another 30 minutes or so. All right? All right, so we're just coming up on 1 hour of the terrine being in the oven. So, starting now. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Oh yeah, it's bubbling. I'm going to take that lid off now and let that moisture kind of seep out of it. We're also going to just check it, see what the temperature is. So we take our precision probe, insert it right in the middle of that. We're showing about 168, so it can come up a little bit more. So what we're going to do is stick that back in the oven, let some of that moisture come out of it now, because it's floating in it. Brown it up nicely. And let that just, see, I think I'm going to give that another 30 minutes. And we'll check it then. Hopefully then it'll be ready. We'll pull it out, let it cool. Pull it out of that pan, and then finally get it in the fridge. It's a very basic recipe at this point. I'm not being too adventuresome because it's the first time making it. We can add more herbs and seasonings and that, but and also I'm not using a terrine pan, which is a longer, thinner pan. But we'll see how that turns out. So we'll see you in 30 minutes. Okay, it's been an extra 30 minutes now with the terrine in the oven. We're going to cancel this. Pull this out. Gently pull this train out. Now we're going to let it cool. Okay, so we've been sitting out for about an hour and a half now. The train's a little warm still, so it's going to come out of here nicely. I'm going to take it into a pan with a rack, and I'm just going to drain that off carefully so that I don't burn myself here. It's not too hot anymore. And then I'm going to dump that upside down. So that bacon's cooked, it hasn't been browned, but most terrines aren't browned in that regard. Now you could brown that up if you wanted with a torch, but I'm just going to let that cool. I'm going to take it off that juice, and I'm going to put that in the fridge. But before I put it in the fridge, once it's cooled fully on the counter here, I'm going to wrap it in foil, or not foil, in plastic, and just let that sort of not dry out. But it'll cool nicely, and then we'll slice it. And I'll show you when we slice it tomorrow. All right, so I'll put that in the fridge tonight, wrapped, and we'll see it tomorrow. Okay, so the terrine's been in the fridge overnight. Just a quick view of that. So it's nicely chilled. You can see it has a little bit of some juice on it, a little bit of jelly. So I'll leave it like this. And we're going to start by just cutting that right in half. Make it more of a terrine size log. Okay, so let's look at that. Oh yeah, that looks nice. And you can see the nice large chunks of chicken, the spinach layer, the bacon all around it. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. Okay, so let's just cut a couple slices here and give it a try. Terrine's usually served fairly thin, so that would be kind of what you see in a restaurant. when you're looking for a terrine. So I'm going to just go right through that whole layer. Now, this is probably going to be fairly bland because it only put salt and pepper, but let's give it a try. Mmm. Oh, wow. That's good. You can add a little bit more seasoning if you want, in a way of like maybe some poultry kind of seasonings, sage, rosemary, but this turned out incredible. Oh, yeah. I'm actually very happy with this recipe just as is. So I'll post the recipe underneath the video, all the ingredients I put in it, and you can put more spinach in, you can put more layers in. You know, sky's the limit. You'll never see two terrine recipes the same. So, like I say, this is a handy thing to have in the fridge. I'm going to freeze this terrine in a vacuum bag. So that way you can pull it out for next week or whatever, or when you're having a party, let it thaw completely in the fridge, and then just, you know, slice it up and serve it. But this is going to be great for, you know, any sort of party, or just to have a slice of something if you're hungry. It's you know, probably meet any keto diets. It would meet any Atkins kind of diet. You know, that it's very minimal in the way of anything that's additives in that. So, you know, if you have any hypersensitive allergies in the family, this would be really good. So, you know, if you like this, subscribe to my channel. Enjoy my other videos. I know this one doesn't run sous vide or smoking. Next time I'm probably going to try, you know, maybe putting it in a pan that I can throw in the smoker. And when I cook it in the oven, I'll cook it out in the smoker, and it'll get a little bit of smoke texture too. So we'll give it a try. You know, this was more of an experiment. Very happy with it. So, and there's no dairy in this one, like most of them have egg whites or some sort of egg in. So, you know, it's very simple. All right, hope you enjoy. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I'll catch you next time.